So they know how to, they would know uh, how to sort of customize whatever service they have. No? Okay, so June. Big hand for June.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. I'm June De Vera from the Board of Investments together with Ms. Melding Gayan. So, my particular division or department with the Board of Investments is the Investors Assistance Service. So, we act like the frontline office of the Board of Investments. So, before I proceed with the presentation, just like to give you a brief background or a briefer on what BOI is. So, the Philippine Board of Investment is an attached agency of the DTI. So, under po kami ng DTI, sister agency po namin si DTI. And our main function is we're the lead industry development and primary investment promotion agency. So, dalawa po yung core function namin, which is the industry development and of course, investment promotion. So, basically, there are 19 investment promotion agencies in the Philippines. So, kasama po dyan si FAB, si BOI, si Cagayan Ecozone, Subic, si Clark. So, there are 19 IPAs, pero we are the lead investment promotion agency in terms of promoting the Philippines to foreign and local investors. So, the main difference between the other IPAs and the BOI is that if you're registered with BOI and avail of its incentives, you may locate anywhere in the Philippines as long as your activity is listed in our priority areas of investments. While for the other 18 IPAs, you have to be located in their zone to avail of their incentives. So basically, PEZA. So you have to locate in a PEZA accredited zone to avail of their incentives. But for BOI, if you're registered with BOI, as long as you are listed in our priority area, you can locate anywhere in the Philippines. So to give you a perspective where BOI comes in the business procedure, so first, if you start a business, whether you're a corporation or you're a partnership or single proprietorship, you have to register with the SEC or corporation and partnership, and with the DTI if you're going to put up a sole proprietorship. After which, you get the mandatory requirements like SSS, pag-ibig, BIR registration, and of course, PhilHealth. And lastly, you get the mayor's permit from the locality where you will be located. So from there, pwede ka na magnegosyo. You can start your business. Well, there are other specialized activities like if you're going into a transportation activity, you have to get an LTFRB. If you're going to the tourism industry, you have to get a DOT accreditation. After which, you can start your business. But there's also an optional registration if you want to avail of the incentives being given by the 19 IPAs or investment promotion agencies, including BOI. So registration with the other IPAs is optional if you want to get the incentives being given by the national government. But the only requirement is that first, if you're going to locate an export processing zone, of course you have to be an exporter and then you have to locate in their zone. For BOI, if you want to be registered with BOI, I'll show you later, you have to be your activity should be one of the economic activities that is being promoted by the Philippine national government. So BOI is a single contact of local and foreign investors, so it offers full investment value chain from counseling and conducting tours for business delegation and providing joint venture opportunities and supplier contracts. So the main functions of BOI, so we categorize it in 3 groups. So we do due diligence assistance, we do business registration facilitation, and of course, we have the aftercare services. So under the due diligence assistance, we give information support. So whether you're BI registered, PESA registered, if you come to our office and need information about how to establish your business, about investments, we have data bank of information that we can give you. So we also do business development, meaning if there's an inbound mission of investors, we assist those inbound mission of investors, like group of investors from China, and they want to visit specific companies or specific agencies, so we assist them in creating their program visit. And of course, we have investment briefing. This one may be relevant to the group. We also do business matching for investors, between the investors and those who have projects and need funding for their projects. So we do that. We have a database of local and foreign investors who are looking for projects to fund. And of course, we do investment promotion and industry development. Now, another function is business registration and facilitation, which Ms. Mel will be discussing later on. So we give information assistance services, supervision, mentoring. We also give incentives administration. So that's the main focus when you register with BOI, is to avail of the incentives being given by the national government. The rationale behind an incentive is it's a form of they say it's a form of a subsidy, because basically those are tax breaks that we give to investors who will engage in specific activities promoted by the national government. So we help, especially MSME, we also encourage them to register with us because we help them stand up, help them start their businesses through the grant of incentives. And we also facilitate fast track of permits and licenses and applications. So whether you are BIA registered, PESA registered, if you encounter delays in the processes of your permits, licenses, whether with the national government, with the LGUs, then we could intervene, we could facilitate that, because we have a memorandum of agreement with 32 government national agencies wherein we can fast track, not really fast track, we can facilitate. So if you encounter any delay in your permits, maybe permits in your IPO, then we can facilitate. We will be asking the national government what's the status of your application, of your permit, and then we can come in, so we can help you facilitate the release of your permits and licenses. And of course, we have the aftercare services. So there's an interagency facilitation of issues and concern, and we also have the strategic investors aftercare program, wherein we visit companies who are registered with us, and we try to get information on their expansion, on their diversification projects, so we can help them maybe if they are looking for location. So we have partner LGUs also who provide us with information on availability of their lands where you can locate your projects. So these are the core processes. So IAS, that's my department, is Investors Assistance Service. So we do investment counseling and of course the aftercare services. So for the pre-investment service, I'll be discussing. My colleague Minnie will be coming over later. She will be discussing the most investment services of the Board of Investments. So for pre-investment services, we offer investment counseling. We offer pre-investment facilitation. So again, if you have issues with your SEC before starting your business, with your LGU, with the BIR permit, TIN permit, SSS, all of those permits before starting a company, then we can help you facilitate the release of those permits and licenses. So we also have investment data banking, as I said. We have data bank of investors, possible investors that you may want to have a joint venture with, or we have a database of availability of raw materials or availability of lands with the other LGUs all throughout the Philippines. And of course, we have investment briefing and counseling seminar wherein we do training for BOI, DTI frontliners, LGU frontliners, because we realize that for an investor coming in, no matter how much promotion we do in the national level, it is the LGU down the ground who will face with the investor. And sadly, most LGUs don't have the skills or the capacity when it comes to dealing with especially foreign investors. So what we did was we partnered with DTI LG, and then we target specific LGUs and conduct the training on how to handle investment query, investors' concerns, and investors' aftercare services. So for investment counseling and business requirement division, so we do information services. So we get about 800 through phone calls, walk-in, and emails monthly. So we get about inquiries through phone, email, and walk-in. So yun po yung mga volume ng mga inquiries that we get, either from a local investor or from foreign investors. So most of these queries are how to start a business, where will I locate. Pero meron din we also get queries from investors who are looking for projects to fund. So specifically, marami ko ngayon coming over from from China, and then also from Taiwan. Also, we get from other countries, European countries also. Okay, and then we also do assistance facilitation services, pre-investment facilitation, leasing facilitation, and of course, we also do, as I earlier mentioned, we do the investment briefing counseling for DILG and LGUs. So this one, we capacitate the frontliners of the DTI and the local government units in handling investors' queries and concerns. So right now, we came up with 10 memorandum agreements with various LGUs through the seminar that we conducted. So through this MOA, BUI will be promoting the specific LGU to investors. So the obligation of the LGU is that they give us the information that we need. Kasi po, in our experience at the national level, when investors come in, especially foreign investors, for example, foreign investors who are looking for 300 hectares where he will put up a plantation, we really don't have the information for that down the ground. Napakahirap pong kumuha ng information sa mga munisipyo, sa mga cities, provincial. Even DILG was the supervisory function of all these LGUs. They don't have that specific information. So what we did was we targeted LGUs who are ready to host investments, and we came up with the MOA, and we will promote you with investors, but your obligation is you give us the information that we need. For example, cost of doing business in your locality, your electricity and water resources, the cost of your rental, or availability of manpower, availability of lands. So those things, yun po yung mga hinihingi ng mga investors coming over. So right now, because of this MOA, we were able, for example, Cabuyao City, we had this MOA with them, so we were able to refer 9 billion worth of project. Kasi when an investor comes in, he said, for example, we were able to refer a pharmaceutical complex, and that pharmaceutical complex was looking for a 10-hectare lot. So because of the MOA, we have the readily available information from Cabuyao City. So we were able to refer the pharmaceutical complex project to Cabuyao City. So these are the models we have with LGUs. So again, maybe these LGUs also have they have their own projects. For example, they have hospital projects, they have their market projects, because basically LGUs don't have the fund to don't have the means to fund these projects. Marami po silang projects like market, hospitals, hotels, wherein they are seeking funds from investors. So through this MOA, we are able to refer investors to fund the projects of these LGUs. So as I mentioned earlier, the national government has listed priority areas that will be promoted by BOI. So, ang island po ng BOI is in promoting these activities or economic activities, we grant incentives to investors who go into these economic activities, specific economic activities. So we call them the investment priorities plan. So under this investment priorities plan, ito po yung mga listahan. So under manufacturing, so all manufacturing activities can be registered with BOI and avail of incentives. Another one is agriculture, fishery, and forestry, strategic services, healthcare services, mass housing, infrastructure innovation drivers, inclusive business model, environment and climate change related projects, energy projects, export activities, and of course special law. So all of these activities, if you are into this, then you may register with the Board of Investments. And once you're registered with the Board of Investments, you can avail of the menu of incentives that will be given by the national government. So I'll be discussing briefly each. So under manufacturing, so it's the manufacture of industrial goods, the processing of agriculture and fishery products, manufacture of machinery and equipment, including parts and components, and only projects located outside Metro Manila may qualify for registration. Again, kasi we're trying to disperse the industry outside Metro Manila. Kasi congested na po ang Metro Manila. So through the grant of incentives, we're trying to encourage investors who are into manufacturing to go outside Metro Manila. And of course, simple processing are not qualified and must be accompanied by endorsement from the DA, PCA, whichever is applicable. And of course, except for modernization projects, only projects located outside Metro Manila may qualify for registration. So, ipapakita ko lang po yung framework namin why the national government is prioritizing manufacturing. Because employment contribution of the manufacturing sector is 21%. So right now, ilan ho ba population ng Philippines is like 100 plus million. So for 21%, that means 21 million Filipinos are engaged in manufacturing. So marami pong multiplier effect kasi ang manufacturing activities. That's why, sabi ng gobyerno, we try to, there's this manufacturing resurgence program of the national government where we encourage investors to go into manufacturing sector. Kasi maraming multiplier effect po ang manufacturing sector. For example po, yung manufacturing paint, ibo ba? Paint, so marami pong industry that are involved like chemical industry, yung lata po, marami involved din, yung pagpipintura, yung printing ng label ng lata. So there's this called multiplier effect of the manufacturing sector. So again, when you are promoting a certain sector, you have to know the gaps on the sector to help fill in the gaps. So again, ang sabi po ng national government, our labor force lacking skills. So we incentivize trainings. So kulang ang technology ang sector natin, so we incentivize research and development. So ganun po yung mag-isip ang national government. That's how we form yung mga listing in our priority areas. So again, high production cost, so we incentivize manufacturing activities. So ganun po yan. So ano po yung gaps in the industry, we also support them through the grant of incentives. So again, agriculture, fishery, and forestry, so covers commercial production of agriculture, fishery, and forestry. So again, as earlier mentioned to us, there are projects here who are into agriculture or fishery. So maybe if you can partner with a company which is into commercial production of agriculture that uses your technology, then that company may register with BOI. And if your technology is certified as pioneer, which will be discussed extensively by Ms. Mel later on, then that company will have a pioneer status. And that means it gets more incentives from the national government by using a pioneer technology. So maybe we can partner you with existing companies who are into commercial production in the agri-fishery division. Another one is the strategic services. So ito siguro relevant sa inyo. So all of these activities may be registered with the Board of Investment. So integrated circuit design, telecommunications, creative industries, knowledge-based services, charging stations, state-of-the-art engineering, procurement and construction, maintenance, repair and overhaul of aircraft, industrial waste treatment, establishment, operation of general hospitals, and establishment of geriatric care units. So all of these activities may be registered with the Board of Investments and avail of its incentives. Another one is healthcare services. So basically, lahat po ng hospitals, whether tertiary, secondary, or primary hospitals, may be registered with the Board of Investments. Mass housing again, kasi sabi ng HLURB, may backlog po tayo in housing. So, housing units below 2 million, mass housing ang category po nun. they are registrable with the Board of Investments. Infrastructure and logistics, so lahat po ng established operation of airports, seaports, airland, and water. So this basically supports the build program of the Duterte administration. So alam na po natin that the country lacks airports, seaports, airland, and water transport. So, and again, water treatment, training facilities, PPP projects including LGU, PPP. So kasi yung mga LGU natin, they are now authorized to go into business and form partnership with the private entity. So, for example, an LGU would want to build a hospital or a convention center and doesn't have the funds, but have the resources of natural resources like land, and he could partner with a private entity and go into a joint venture. And this project may be registered with the Board of Investments. Again, ito ang pinaka-relevant din sa inyo is innovation drivers. So, R&D activities, lahat po na R&D activities pwedeng i-register with the Board of Investments. Centers of Excellence, so academic and medical facilities, innovation centers, business incubation hubs, fab labs, co-working spaces, shared service facility for MSME. And ito siguro yung pinaka relevant sa inyo is the commercialization of new and emerging technologies and products of DOST or government-funded R&D. So, lahat po yan may be registered with the Board of Investments and avail of its incentives. So, commercialization, ang ano po dyan is, kasi one of the, basically what you will be availing as an incentive is a tax break. So, in the case of commercialization of your projects, if you partner with a private entity and commercializes or uses your technology, that means commercialization of your project, and whatever income that the entity earns, then it will be exempted from paying taxes as one of the incentives, even with the national government. Yes, sir.
What about the buying of equipment?
Okay, buying of the equipment that will be used by the company that uses your technology. Yeah. It's one of the, there's an incentive for that, sir, also.
Okay.
Importation of equipment, sir.
Okay.
So I'll be discussing the incentives that will be granted if you're registered with the Board of Investments.
Thank you.
So inclusive business model, another, this is a new sector wherein business activities of medium and large enterprises in the agribusiness and tourism sectors that provide business opportunities to micro and small enterprises as part of their value chain. So usually, the small farmers cannot directly go to San Miguel or URC if they have harvest on tomatoes or potatoes. They cannot directly sell to San Miguel or URC or the big companies, because the big companies sources their raw materials from a consolidator. So among the poorest of the Filipinos, they are usually the fisher folk and the mga magsasaka natin because of the consolidator. So they sell their products at the farm gate price. There's a consolidator that sells it to the big companies, maybe times 10 of the price from the farm gate price. So what we did was, the national government said that the big companies, San Miguel, URC, if you will source your raw materials directly to the small player, from the small players, then we will give you the incentive. So, kasi how else will you force yung mga big companies to source their raw materials sa mga cooperatives, sa mga small players natin, if you don't give them incentives, di ba? Because they source their raw materials from their buying stations, from their consolidators, or worse, they import their raw materials. So sabi po namin, if the big companies source their raw materials directly from the small players like cooperatives, farmer groups, then you get the incentives from the Board of Investments. Of course, environment and climate change related projects, so manufacturing, assembly of goods, establishment of energy efficiency related facilities. So again, maybe may mga projects here who are into energy efficiency, then you can partner with a company then that uses your technology, then that one may be registered with the Board of Investments. green ship recycling, and privately owned materials recovery facility. Number 10 is energy. So power generation projects utilizing conventional fuels like coal, diesel, bunker fuel. Kasi sabi po ng DOE, we have a backlog on energy by 2022 if we don't put up more energy projects. And mga power provider natin, they said that it takes lots of capitalization to build a power company. So they cannot do one if you don't give us incentives. Of course, export activities because we encourage export because dollar earner po yan. So production and manufacture of export products. So any products that you manufacture and export, then you can be registered with the Board of Investments. Service exports, kasama na po yung mga BPO dyan. They are classified as service exports. So basically, lahat po ng BPO call centers natin registered po sa BOI outside PESA. And of course, activities in support of export. So if you are a manufacturer but your manufactured product, you sold it to an exporter, so you will consider the activities in support of export, then you will still be registered with the Board of Investments. And of course, under special laws, because of the special laws, we are mandated to give incentives, register these activities, to give incentives to these activities. So, industrial tree plantation, mining, publication and printing of books, refining, storage, marketing, and distribution of petroleum products, rehabilitation, self-development, and self-reliance on persons with disability, renewable energy, may ILO po tayo, renewable energy law. So we are mandated to give incentives to renewable energy, and of course, tourism projects. Tourism projects includes accommodations, convention centers, transportation for tourists, and the like. So lahat po ng tourism-related activities may be registered with the Board of Investments. Now for the incentives that may be availed of the BR-registered companies, so ang pinaka-relevant po dyan talaga is yung income tax holiday. So it's the full exemption from income taxes levied by the national government. So ano po ba yung income tax holiday? At the end of the year, we file our ITR. So for businesses, they pay how much? 30%. Diba? Yun po yung kinukuha ng gobyerno sa atin. 30% from our business income. So if you are BR registered, then you will be given an income tax holiday incentives. So you will not be paying your income tax on your business if you're registered with BOI. So if you're new and pioneer, you get 6 years of income tax holiday. So what do you mean? So for clarification purposes, so we only register new companies, new activities. It means those existing companies or existing activities, we don't register them anymore unless they are on expansion or modernization project. Ang reason po behind that